everybody, welcome to another video. Today I am doing a makeup tutorial, mostly because you, my viewers, asked me how I do my makeup for my videos. And I'm also going to base a lot of the information I give you on my about 10 years of being a professional performer, where I had a lot of makeup artists work on my face and I picked up a lot of techniques and tips and tricks here and there on how to do this, and also I had to do my face quite often myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this series down into 3 parts. Today we're going to work on face, then there'll be eyes, and then there'll be lips. And today with face we're going to work on our foundation, our concealer, as well as some blushing and contouring with some little easy tricks here and there to help you with all of this. So let's get started. To my regular followers, welcome to my face with no makeup. This is the first video I've done without my face paint on, and please be nice. I'm going to start with my first step, and that's to use, this is my version of a primer. It's not something you can commercially buy. This is one I made myself, and I'll give you a link for that. This is pretty much the same thing as petroleum jelly, and the reason I use it is because it's so moisturizing and I have a really dry skin type. And especially this week I've spent a few days in the sun, and I've got some little peeling and redness going on, and this will help flatten all of that out for my next coat. Now this is all made out of natural oils and beeswax because I didn't want to put petroleum on my face. But if you do tend to not really care about that, you can use something like Lucas's pawpaw ointment or something like that as well, but really small amounts. You don't want to have a really oily face, okay? So let's start by putting some of that on. So just start with little bits of the dry areas, just a tad. This stuff is especially great under the eyes, where you tend to get a little bit more fine lines due to the powders that you might use on your face, making your skin look more dry than it actually is. And what I'd usually do is give this 10 minutes while I go do my hair or get changed, and then I'd go to the next step of putting on my foundation. Let's talk about foundations. This is the one that I use on a daily basis. It's called Perfect Truth CC Cream by Henrikson. And the reason I love this is because it's relatively light. And if you don't know what the difference is with BB and CC creams, they tend to be foundation moisturizer mixtures, and CC creams tend to be a little bit thicker than a BB cream. And the reason I love this one so much is because it's also got an SPF 30. So I've been using sunscreen on my skin since I was a teenager, and I honestly think it's the reason my skin isn't worse for wear than it is. So that's a really good one. This is the one I use if I'm going to do a video, or if I've got somewhere really special to go where there's going to be photos taken. And it's called Studio Fix Liquid by MAC. And it's a slightly heavier look, so this one's probably more of a special occasion one for me. So since I am filming a video today, I'm going to use the MAC Studio Fix foundation, and just before you start using it, make sure you give it a really good shake. I'm just going to dab a little bit on my hand. This one's a relatively old bottle, so hopefully I'll actually get some out. I'm a big fan of using my hands for pretty much most of my foundation type applications, and I feel like it gives me a little bit more control. Make sure you blend your foundation really well into your hairline. You want to put a little bit on your lips to hold your lipstick later on. My skin tone's already evened out a great deal just from putting my foundation on, but we're going to move on to the next step, which is reducing any imperfections and redness. And I'm going to use my concealer. The one that I use is another MAC product. This one's called Studio Finish, and it's got an SPF of 35 if that's important to you. And I'm going to again use my fingers to blend this, but I've also got a concealer brush, and this is fantastic if you've got any little spots that you need to target. Now with the eyes, I tend to go under the eye there, and I work in a triangle. So you're working under the eye, across to the cheekbone, to where your hairline is. And then that's the sort of, it's an upside down triangle, so that's a straight line. And then I'm going to work down and down this way. And part of the reason I work down this way is because a lot of people tend to have a lot of redness around their nostril there and the sides. And just blend that down so you can't see the line of your concealer. Got a little bit onto the eyelids as well. On the forehead, I work with 3 lines. Just pat that around. I'm going to use a little bit on my nose today. I don't usually, but again, I've got redness from when I was in the sun this week. And again, you're going to work on the 3 line for your chin. And this is really important as well for when you do your lip colour. And this is especially important if you're doing a strong lip colour like a red, because you want to get a clean line between your skin and where the colour starts. Doing the other eye now. Alrighty, so my concealer is done. As you can see at the moment, it looks like my eyelashes and my eyebrows have partially disappeared. We'll fix that in my eye makeup tutorial. At the moment, we're just going to finish off this concealer and foundation mix that we've got going on because it feels a little bit wet and like it can rub off at any second. So what I'm going to use is a finishing powder. Now, one that I sometimes use is MAC Studio Finish again, or Studio Fix this time. And this is just a pressed powder, but the latest thing that I love to use is NYX HD Studio Photographic. And the reason I love this is just it really sort of gets that wetness out of the foundation. It really feels like it finishes the foundation. Now, because it's translucent white powder, you really need to blend this in well, especially if you're going somewhere where people are going to take flash photography. If you don't blend this in well, you'll get that white powdery look on your face, which will make you look like you've stuck your head in a bucket of a suspicious white powder, if you get what I mean. You don't want that look, so make sure you blend it in properly. I'm just going to use a little bit that's in the lid. Grab a little bit and then just shake it off the brush, okay? And then just dab. What I really love about HD powder is that it gives your skin a really beautiful matte finish and it just evens everything out. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to do my eye makeup, and when I come back I'm going to move on to blusher and highlighter, and I'm going to show you some tricks there in terms of things like contouring and stuff without again using a whole bunch of foundations. Okay, so that's my eyeshadow done. I hope you like it. If you do, look out for the tutorial. We're going to go on to blush, and again, I don't want to have to spend a lot of money on things that I don't necessarily need. So if I want to do some contouring, rather than spending say over $60 for each foundation, therefore I'm spending way over $150, I'll rather use my blushes for contouring. And today I'm going to use more of a pink colour, but you can use more neutrals as well. I've got, here we go, again some MAC, and this one is Margin. This would be a nice sort of bronzy sort of colour for under the cheekbone to give yourself some more shape. These are literally really cheap blushes I bought from the drugstore, maybe not even $7 each. They're called W7. I don't know where else in the world you can get them, but you can just see the sort of colour they are. This one's more of a rosy sort of pink, and this one's more of a reddy sort of purpley berry sort of colour. So what I'm going to start with is the rose sort of colour, and I'm just going to get my blush brush, pick up some of that colour, tap it off. And you'd want your lighter colour to go onto the apples of your cheeks. And a little bit on your nose, bridge of your nose. And then you just blend that down a little bit, down and out. Now you get your darker colour. In this case I'm using more of a berry colour. And I usually try to use the edge of the brush, not the whole middle. That way I can control the colour a little bit more. Tap the excess off. And you're just going to suck in your cheek, and you're going to go under the line there, under your cheekbone, concentrating mostly on this outer edge and then just drawing a little bit in. And you don't just stop there, so you go down a little bit to your jaw, and then you go up a little bit here too. So you're like working in a C shape. And you get your hairline as well. And you also want to get under your neck with this darker colour too, that way you don't have a different colour face to your neck. And also don't forget to get your chin. You can use a highlighter, and I've got something here again by MAC, and this one's called Soft and Gentle Mineralize Skin Finish. I'm going to open this up, and where you'd use a pale foundation for contouring, you're just going to use your highlighter. So you start here in sort of the top under the eye and work your way up. Again, we're working on that C shape. With the dark colour, you would have worked on the outer section. Here you're going to move closer to the brow bone and to the eye socket. Just above. And do the other eye too. So just under the eye socket and around. And then you also want to put a little dab on your nose, just to give yourself some glow, and on the middle of your forehead. And this is such a lovely, subtle powder. You don't look too glowy. So that's it for this particular video. Make sure you stick around for my other tutorials on eyes and lips. And if you like, you can share this video and subscribe to me as well, so you have access to other tutorials and other blog posts. You can also go to katerinasims.com and see my other posts via there, and sign up to me via email. I hope we all keep looking pretty and beautiful even without the face. I love you, goodbye, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah!